Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Burnt Pancakes podcast. I am your host, Katie Fensky, and today I'm changing things up a little bit. Normally, I do a momversation where I chat with other moms about motherhood, but something has been coming up a lot in my life. The moms at baseball, the moms at preschool, we're all kind of talking about a topic that I've decided needs to be discussed on the podcast. So I'm trying a solo one. It's just you and I. And we're talking about summer vacation with our kids. How are we going to survive the next 9 weeks? So my kids get out of school this week. It's their last week of school. So when I looked at my calendar, I noticed that they will be home for 9 weeks. And I kind of have some mixed feelings about this. I've been looking forward to summer. I love, being off. I love not having to worry about homework and not having to wake my kids up at 7 a.m, no more packing lunches. But kind of the downside of summer vacation that all of us moms are talking about is that our kids are home all day long. That means the fighting happens all day long, the noise, the mess in the house, the constantly asking for snacks. I know from years past, and Memorial Day weekend is like a clear indicator of how this is going to go. We basically spent the whole weekend at home, and my kids got stir crazy, and I was triggered. I lost my patience very easily. So if in 3 days of being home, I kind of lost my mind, what is 9 weeks going to do to me? So, little backstory. So I actually work from home. So I do the podcast. I am a potty training consultant, but my work is done at home. And prior to doing this, I was a teacher. So I am used to summers being home, being available to my kids. So I am not like trying to find camps for them because I'm working. They are home with me. But what I decided is that I need to go into this summer with a good plan, with some ideas of how to not lose my mind. And this is kind of like what other moms and I have been talking about lately. So I thought I am going to share these ideas that I have with all of you on the podcast in hopes that we have an enjoyable summer. So I'm going to get to those in a second. But before I kind of came up with these ideas, I just set an intention, or like I started envisioning how I want this summer to look. Like if I could pick the ideal summer, what would we be doing? What would it look like? So my goals this summer with my kids home is just to have fun and make these great memories, not only for my kids, but for myself. Like I want this to be fun for me. I'm not like going to be in charge of making this fun all the time. Like they're part of it also. But when I look back at my childhood, summers were awesome. Like we spent days at the beach. We went to my cousin's house and went swimming. It was just time for us to be together. We went camping together. So I want my kids to look back and think, wow, my summers were really fun. Like my mom planned things, but we also spent time together. Someone once said, you have 18 summers with your kids. And then another mom interrupted her and was like, actually, no, you don't have 18, because when your kids start high school or when they get a job and have sports, or they're teenagers and they don't want to hang out with you, you really don't have them around for the summer as much. You can't take trips easily. They're not going to want to like go to museums with you. So really you have like 14, 13 summers. So my oldest is 9, thinking about, oh my gosh, like we only have a few more summers left where he's going to want to hang out with us or be available. Kind of that idea really made me think about how I want this to go. I have a friend that we used to teach together, a million years ago. This was way before I had kids. She has 3 little girls, and when they were little, I remember she would always post at the end of summer, like, I'm so sad summer's over. I love having my kids home. We had so much fun. And I remember thinking, I can't remember if I had Ronan yet or if I didn't have kids. I just remember thinking, I want to be like her. I want to be that kind of mom that just loves having her kids home. Now, granted, I do have my kids home a lot and they drive me crazy, but I'm still setting the intention that we're going to have fun this summer. So here are 10 ideas that I came up with that I think will make things go better than how they have gone in previous summers. So idea number one is I want to put together somewhat of a schedule or routine for our day. So I'm not planning on having this rigid, like hour by hour schedule, like up at this time and out the door by this time, but I want a more predictable schedule of what we're doing or how our day is going to look, because I think my boys will do better when it's not just like free for all at home and just, laying around the couch and complaining about being bored. Definitely something that this is going to be hard for me, but I'm going to do this summer is not letting them watch TV in the mornings. So right now during the school year, we had to make a rule that there was no TV on weekdays in the morning. My oldest son, if he had the chance, would be up at 5 a.m. to watch TV, because on weekends, we tell him he can watch TV when he wakes up, and he gets up so early. On weekdays, when it's school, I have to wake him up at 7 o'clock. But I've kind of noticed on weekends, we're all kind of taking a break, but it gets a little overboard. They watch more TV than we probably planned. And I just don't want that to be an everyday thing during the summer. So yes, are my kids going to watch TV during the day during the summer? Probably. Like there will be TV time or shows, but we're not going to start the day having the TV on. My husband and I have already committed to that. We're going to be strong. We're going to do that. I do want to try and get some workout time in the morning. So like when they get up, my husband's going to take them for a little bit. I'm going to do a workout. I'm have a little time to myself. And then we'll swap. He'll do his workout and go off to work. At some point during the day, in the morning, we're going to get out of the house. I just know for my own sanity, we need to be out doing something, whether it's just going to the grocery store or hitting up a park. We just need to leave the house like some point in the morning. We will have to be back probably because of nap time. So my youngest still takes a nap most days. I mean, he's at the age where we could skip naps some days, which is kind of nice. I feel like this summer gives us a little more flexibility. But we'll do nap time, something going on in the afternoon, like dinner time. But I want it to be a little bit more structured than it has in the past, where I don't want them to wake up and we're like, okay, what are we going to do today? So on that note, having a schedule. Number two, the second idea I have is we need more chores for our children. Summertime kind of means things are going to get messy very quickly. I don't know if it's your kids or not, but the minute they wake up, it's like every toy in the house has to be on the floor. It just instantly, they make a mess. And also my cleaning lady, who we've had for 5 years, she recently quit, retired. She's just not in service anymore. She hurt her back. And so she is not available to clean our house anymore. She used to come every other week and just do like deep clean of the bathrooms and the kitchen. So that makes me feel like, okay, we need to do like kind of a chore rotation during the week, just so we can stay on top of things, make sure the house is not going absolutely insane this summer. My boys also are terrible when it comes to chores. Like if I ask my oldest son to make his bed, it's like I'm torturing him. So I almost feel like he needs to have more of like a habit of doing a chore every time during the day, so that it's not difficult when I ask him to do like, hey, can you put the dishes in the dishwasher? So I kind of want to come up with a schedule of like every day or every Monday, we're going to clean the boys' bathroom. Tuesdays, we clean the windows, just something. So like during our chore time during the day, they have a schedule for what we're cleaning. I noticed I had my 3-year-old home with me one day, and I was cleaning our bathroom, and he thought it was so fun. He asked me now every day, can we clean the bathroom? So bringing them in, helping them like contribute to the house is something I want to try adding this summer. Okay. My third idea for this summer is that I'm going to let my kids get bored. Yes, summer boredom, like that is huge. Like kids get bored over the summertime, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I honestly think when my boys get bored and then figure out something to do is when they really start coming up with creative things. the other day, they were complaining about being bored. I gave them two options, like you can do this or this. They didn't like my choices. So I said, cool, find something of your own. Of course, my son says, I'm going to play my Switch. Wait, that's not one of the choices also. So they ended up like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes later, they were outside finding sticks, doing like Survivor, and they were making like this pretend fire pit. And in my head, I thought, this is so cool. Like you were bored 10 minutes ago and then you found something to play. So I'm going to let my kids get bored this summer. I am not their constant entertainment. I don't need to be giving them activity after activity all day long. I will let them get bored. One thing that I did do 2 summers ago that really helped with this whole like, I'm so bored thing was I created an I'm so bored chart and I hung it on the refrigerator. I'm going to link it down below because it was a game changer for us. 3 days after putting that chart on the refrigerator, they did not mention those words, those 3 words again. So basically the chart is 6 squares that have different categories like clean something, make something, play something, read something. So like different categories, and each category has 6 items underneath it. So if they come to me and say, I'm so bored, I tell them, roll the dice. Like no matter what, if you tell me you're bored, you're going to have to do the I'm so bored chart. So they roll the dice. The first dice tells them which category they're picking from. So let's say they roll a 2 and it's clean something. They roll the second dice and it tells them what they have to clean. So like organize the bookshelves. Some of the activities on there are fun, like draw something, maybe like draw a robot or do a how to draw on YouTube. Some things are not so fun, like clean the toilets. So after, like at first they thought it was so funny and they did it over and over and over. But then like after a while, it got to the point where they're like, I don't want to like fold my laundry or whatever the activity was. So it kind of gets them to think a little bit about, do I want to tell mom I'm bored or do I want to come up with something on my own? So if your kids are constantly talking about being bored, take a look at that chart because I have it linked below. All right. Idea number 4 is to come up with a bucket list. So my kids and I have been kind of like over the last couple of weeks making an idea of some of the things we want to do while we're on summer break that we really can't do during the school year. Some things are like super simple. Some things are like require a little bit more planning, but part of my schedule of getting out of the house will be to go to some of these places that we've listed or do an activity maybe in the afternoon. But it's just something so that you have ideas of things you want to do. And my kids love, like we have a cute little template that we fill out and put it on. So I'll link that below. But they have so much fun, like crossing it off, like, oh, we did water balloons today, cross that off of the bucket list. So some of the things that we are adding just to give us ideas of things to do. I've been kind of like keeping tabs when someone's mentioned like a park that sounds fun. I've been like listing those parks. They've been talking about like making dinner one night, like pick out the recipe, go to the grocery store, get everything, serve mom and dad. So I'm going to have them be in charge of a meal. They really want to make a Mento geyser. So, where you take like a Coke bottle and you put Mentos in it. So we're going to try that this summer. Water balloons. There's a creek that we discovered recently near our house that the boys like loved. It was so much fun. So like go back to the creek. There's a few museums that they want to go to, mini golf. They really want to go to an arcade. So maybe once during the summer, we'll do that. But just like little ideas of things that you can do, places that you can try just to keep you busy over the summer. And these are things too that would be fun for me, like keep myself entertained. Okay, 5th idea. This revolves around food and drinks. So I am terrified of how quickly my kids are going to go through food on summer break and how many water bottles are going to be all over my house. So I think what I'm going to do is each morning, here is your water bottle. Here's your water bottle. Here's your water bottle. This is what you're drinking out of today, and give them a place to put their cups. So if you need water or juice or whatever you're drinking, this is the cup you're going to use. When you're done with it, you put it back on this place in the counter so that we're not like taking out a million water bottles. We'll see how this works. I have high hopes, but I'm not sure. Also, I'm just like worried that they're going to want to eat all day long. So I'm going to let them know, like we do breakfast in the morning, like usual. I think I'm going to put out like a bin in our pantry of, hey, if you're hungry between now and lunchtime, here are the snacks that I will let you eat. So they're in arm's reach. They can get them. I don't want it to just be like a whole thing of fishies because my kids will go through a giant gallon of fishies in one day if I let them. So it might be like you can grab an apple out of the fridge, you can grab a cheese stick, or here's some bars, or here's some like graham crackers. So just like you don't have to ask me about these snacks, but these are the ones that you can get if you are hungry. We'll see how that goes as well. All right, idea number 6 is to have more outside play. So what I've noticed about my boys is that they go absolutely stir crazy. They go bonkers when they're inside too long. And I get it. Like I'm kind of like that too, where I have to like get out more. But just having boys, I've noticed they love getting dirty. They love like being in like the outdoors. And I don't think they get enough of that at home. Like our backyard is turf. So I like never want them messing up our turf. So if they're like digging with shovels in the dirt, I'm like, don't get it on the grass. But that's not boy. Boys are like meant to be digging and like exploring. So I just don't feel like we have a lot of outside area. So I want to take them, like I mentioned before, we found this creek a couple weeks ago. And we legit were there for like 2 hours. Not once did my boys fight. Not once did they complain. They were like in their element, finding sticks, pretending to be adventurers, like just walking in the water, throwing rocks in the water. I didn't have to do a thing. They were just totally entertained being outside. So my goal is to find more outside play for them. So whether it's like going to a park and kind of going off the trail and just letting them explore, but just more like boys being boys, getting down and dirty, and just being out in nature. Okay, idea number 7, camps. So I try this summer, I was like, I am not going to overschedule us. I don't want to like have my whole entire summer planned out because I want my boys just to like be together and find ways to have fun. But then after Memorial Day weekend, my husband and I were like, oh my gosh, we probably should have put them in some camps. So then we scrambled to find camps and they're almost all full. So for all you moms who back in like March signed your kids up for camps, gold star for you because I waited too long. Trying to find something for my 5-year-old, like either it's not available for 5-year-olds or everything's filled up. The swimming lessons that we really liked already filled. So my 5 and 3-year-old will not be doing any camps, but we were able to put my 9-year-old in a baseball camp for 1 week. It's at a high school. It's like an all-day one, but he did it once before, and this is one he actually asked to do again. So he really liked that. So he'll be doing a week of baseball camp, and then we also found an art class. It's 3 hours a day for 5 days. And he's like kind of getting into art lately. Like he likes to draw. He does a lot of like how to draws on YouTube, the Art Hub for Kids. Shout out. They are awesome. But he's been getting into like anime and like customizing things with these new fancy markers. So there's an anime class at an art school that he actually took a class at before that really liked. So we're going to put him in that. And I think during those 2 weeks, they're separate weeks, I'm going to just focus on like the little guys. Like, let's find things that they would like to do while big brother's at camp. So if there are still camps available in your area, sign your kids up. I've tried to like balance it out between like, we're going to have some weeks where we have nothing going on and we can like play with friends. And then some weeks where we're in baseball camp or we're in art camp. So we'll see how they go. I'm really hoping after paying for this art class that he doesn't say after the first day, I don't want to go back. So we'll see. All right. Idea number 8 is school and learning. So part of my schedule during the day is that I do want my kids to do some type of reading or learning. Now, as a former teacher, I remember telling all my students, like, you've got to do this worksheet and you got to practice this and don't lose all this learning over the summer. As a mom, I know we have tried to do those like summer workbooks before, and we've maybe gotten through 2 pages and then I just gave up. It is their break. I want a break from doing schoolwork. So I'm putting very low pressure on making them do work, but I do want them to read something every day. And my oldest kid, he's going into 4th grade. So I want him doing some sort of math, like fact practice. And that's it. I I'm not I'm not asking for a lot, but I do want some point during the day, we're going to all read, whether I'm reading to the little ones or my son. I want my 9-year-old to start, like, he is not a big reader, but I want him, like, for 5 minutes a day, here's a book, just read something that he wants to read too. I know our library has like a big program where it's summer reading and you fill out this chart, but I'm like, I want to keep it very simple, very low pressure, but let's not forget everything we did at school. So this might be done, I think, during nap time. I think we'll have the 2 older ones do some reading. All right, number 9. This idea is for the moms. I think it's so important during the summertime to include some sort of me time, or just not to forget about yourself. So what I realized is when your kids are in school, there's like 0 break. So I want to make sure, for my own sanity, so that I don't go crazy, that I fit in times to like give myself a break. So my mom is amazing. She watches my kids a lot. So I asked her, I'm like, is there one day a week that I can just plan on, like, every Thursday you will watch the kids in the morning so that I have my time. Like, I still am working. I still have projects I want to get done. And knowing that the kids are never going to be gone makes that feel a little daunting. So I want to like schedule one day a week for my mom to watch the boys. I just contacted my babysitter. She went away to college, but I just like reached out to her and I was like, hey, are you going to be home this summer? And she'll be back in July. So I'm looking forward to having her, and maybe just like an hour to just have some time to myself. I'm also going to make sure every morning while my kids are not watching TV, to give myself a little time to journal and work out. So I feel like those 2 things have been really helping me lately, whether it's just going for a 10-minute walk in the morning, just to like get out, get some fresh air, writing 5 things that I'm grateful for in my journal, and then boom, my day starts. But I found that just giving myself a little bit of time for me and not feeling guilty about it, because I used to feel so guilty, like, oh, now my husband has to watch the kids for a little bit so that I can go for a walk. I am not feeling guilty anymore. This is something like that really helps me get through my day. I also love reading. This is something that I've discovered as an adult. As a kid, I used to hate reading. But now when I have like 5 minutes, my kids are playing, I love getting a good book out. So I'm going to make sure I've got some summer reading books. Gosh, I have a huge list of books that I want to read. But I'm going to make sure that I have time to read my books and not just my kids' books. I don't know. I have this dream of doing a book club sometime. So if you love books and you love to read, hit me up, because I would love to somehow do a book club. So that's my me time. And last, number 10, this one's also for me. I'm going to make sure to connect with other moms. So one of my plans is to do a weekly beach day. My friends and I have said this every year, and this year is the year we're going to do it. My mom did this when we were kids. So she would say, like, every Wednesday, she and my aunt and a bunch of their friends all met at the same beach, at the same like street. And it would just be like Wednesday beach day. All the kids would play together. The moms would all be sitting in their chairs. And I used to think, like, oh, my mom is so fun. Like, I love that she does this for us. Now, as a mom, I realized, oh my gosh, my mom did that so she could hang out with her friends and not go crazy at home while we wore ourselves out at the beach. So I'm going to copy that idea and try and do like a weekly beach day. So no matter what, whoever can make it, that's the day we meet at the beach. The kids can expect it and they'll wear themselves out. But it's a chance for me to connect with other moms. I also kind of want to do that with my neighbors. We live on an awesome street. We have lots of little kids. The moms are awesome. So I want to see if maybe like every Tuesday night, let's let the kids ride their bikes in the front yard, in the street, while we kind of catch up. So connecting with other moms. I've also recently met a few new moms, whether it was like through preschool or, here and there, that our kids are like the same age. So I was talking to this mom at preschool picnic the other day, and she was like, it would be so fun to hang out because I have a hard time finding a mom that has a boy similar to my oldest, but still a little one that she's still having to watch. Like either I'm hanging out with like older kids and I'm the one with a little one, or if you hang out with like friends that have little kids, your older son is like, Mom, this is so boring. So we kind of were like, yeah, we should try and get together. So instead of just saying, hey, yeah, we should get together, I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to like go out of my comfort zone and reach out to some of these new moms and plan some play dates. So if you're a mom, it's hard to like date other moms, but I feel like I've met a couple recently that I'm like, our kids would hit it off. Let's get together. I don't know about you, but motherhood has taught me I am such an extrovert. If I see other moms, other adults during the day, like my day flies by, I feel like filled up. But when I'm just like at home, not really talking to other adults is when things feel tough. So planning lots of play dates this summer. I also heard this idea recently where this mom has a group of mom friends that all of them are working moms. So they're kind of like, how are we going to manage this summer? I think their kids are a little bit older. So they are doing like a kid share or kid swap. So like they have a calendar and they're like, okay, this day she's going to watch all the kids so that we can all work. And then like another day next week, she's going to watch all the kids so that there's always someone who can take the children. And gosh, what a great break for the mom too. Like, hey, kids, come over and play with my kids so that I don't have to entertain them. So I thought that was a great idea, kid share. So, okay, those are 10 ideas I have, but I also have something, a bonus. So this summer, I don't know about you all moms, but summer means swimming pools, beaches, and putting on a bathing suit. And I always get, that feeling of, oh God, bathing suit season again. And sometimes that stops me from doing things with my kids because like, I just don't want to be in a bathing suit. After having 3 kids and being in my 40s now, that's not the first thing I want to wear, but I realized my kids don't care. They don't care if I'm in a bathing suit or if have some cellulite or stretch marks. They just want to be having fun. They want to be at the beach. They want to be in the water. My middle son lately, his line is, this is the best day of my life. So we were like just doing something. We were at the creek that one day and he literally was like, oh, Mom, this is the best day of my life. And I just realized like, it doesn't take much to make them happy. So if I put that bathing suit on, got in the pool, they would be totally fine with that. They don't care. It's pretty much in my head. Like no one else is judging me. No one's saying like, oh, Katie, you need to work out more. Come on. It's me saying that. So join me this summer. We're going to throw that bathing suit on. Who cares? Let's all get out there and enjoy, get in the water. So those are my 10 ideas that I have. I think I need to do a review later this summer and let you know, like, did I really lose my mind? Is the schedule going well? But I would love to know from you if you're going to try any of these tips or if you have any others for us. So if you do have any other ideas, let me know. Come follow me on Instagram, find me, give me your tips. So on that note, summer is starting. I've got to go out and be with my kids. Next week, we're going to have another interview conversation. So stay tuned for that. And I wish you all the best summer ever. So remember, everyone burns their first pancake. So this summer, just keep flipping. All right, I'll see everyone next week.